guys, it's Jade, and in honor of reaching 1,000 subscribers, which thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel, I'm gonna do a Q&A like I promised I would do if I reach 1,000, which I think I'm like at 1,011 right now, so whoop whoop for over 1,000. I asked you guys to send me questions on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, so I'm gonna answer some of those questions that you guys sent me in. Alright, so let's just start off with the question I got asked the most by multiple different people. Not that I wasn't expecting it, but all those questions revolved around React. Why did I leave React? Am I gonna go back on React? What is up with that? Do I plan on going on Adults React? Do I miss Teens React? Everything involving React. So let me start off with the first one. Why I left React. I'm not gonna get into super details, but basically when I aged off of Teens React, there was no Adults React, and at that time you couldn't have your own YouTube channel and be on the shows. So I decided to leave because I really did want to start my own YouTube channel at that point. But about 8 months after I left the show, they started allowing reactors to have their own channels. But since it was so new then, they were trying to work out how to do it. But there were just a few restrictions and I really wanted to be free on my channel. But I've heard now from friends who are on the show that they've gotten rid of those restrictions since they've kind of worked out the kinks on how reactors can have their own YouTube channel, since it's been a few years since they started that. So since that's not really an issue anymore, on to the next question, am I gonna go back on React? I don't know yet, but it's definitely a much bigger possibility than it was a few years ago. You know, we'll see how things are going, but it's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities. So I would say it's definitely maybe a possibility. And another question I got asked about React that I did really like was, what was your favorite React you have done? Oh, that's a hard question. There were so many. Okay, so I'm gonna do one from the main channel and one from the React channel that was only on for like 6 months before I left. Probably one of my favorite videos that I reacted to was the salad finger one. That was within the first year of me being on React, and it was just so weird, and I don't know, I liked my reactions in it. I thought it was a really fun episode, and it was just like something I probably never would have seen without the Vine brothers showing that to me. And my favorite video that I did on the React channel was the lyric breakdown of Smells Like Teen Spirit, only because of the fact that my realization when I realized that the lyrics were from Nirvana, and I thought this song was like Kanye West or a rapper, and I was kind of trashing the song. And my realization when I figured out what song it was is just like the best reaction ever. If you guys have ever thought that React is a scripted show, if you watch that lyric breakdown, you can tell it is not scripted, because you see the look of realization on my face and the dawning of, oh my god, I compared Nirvana to Kid Cudi and Kanye West. What am I thinking? And I remember Rafi was in the room and he was dying laughing, and there was some other FBE stuff in there and they were all laughing so hard. They're like, that has to be one of the best reactions we've ever had on this show. I love going back and watching that, just seeing how stupid I can be sometimes. Alright, well, moving on from all the React questions, let's go on. Okay, what is your dream job? Well, my dream job is to be a successful actress, and I am currently pursuing an acting career. You know, I go to auditions, I have an agent. Nothing has really panned out so far because, well, in case you didn't know, the acting business is incredibly cutthroat and difficult, and I'm also not like the atypical person, you know, the heroine. So there's not as many auditions for me as there is for, you know, someone else who's like the typical lead female you see in movies and TV shows. So I don't go out for as many auditions as I would obviously like to be going out, because there just aren't as many parts available for me. Though I have noticed over the past few years I have become a lot more parts, which is awesome that Hollywood is starting to realize that, you know, people of all shapes and colors should be on TV and in movies, you know, because that's what the world looks like. So yeah, you know, I'm hoping within the next few years my career will start gaining momentum. And, you know, hopefully 10-15 years from now, you know, you'll see me walking down the Oscar red carpet nominated for a movie. Because that's, you know, every actor's dream. So, Yeah, an actress. A successful actress. Not an aspiring actress, which is what I am now, but a successful actress. Who is your fictional boyfriend slash girlfriend? And this question is probably one of the easiest questions I was asked. And that is Logan Huntzberger from Gilmore Girls, played by Matt Zuckery, who I'm gonna just put that as Matt Zuckery. Gilmore Girls is my favorite show. I love him. I love Rory and his relationship. And I freaking love Matt Zuckery. Like, yeah, as much as I've loved Logan, a lot of it is due because of Matt, because after I watched Gilmore Girls, I watched him in The Good Wife for him, and I fell even more in love with him. And then when I met him, oh my god, you guys, he was like the sweetest person ever, and he is so attractive in person. I've met a lot of people, but him, I've never freaked out so hard over meeting because he's my ultimate celebrity crush, fictional. But if we're going fictional, it'd be Logan Huntzberger, but real crush is Matt Zuckery. But they're kind of two sides of the same coin. But yeah, Logan Huntzberger for sure. And like I met Logan Huntzberger because I met Matt, and it's literally been the lock screen on my phone since November. So like 5 months, and every time I go to unlock my phone, I'm just like, ah, I met him. I met Logan Huntzberger. So yeah, I'm just a little bit in love. What book has impacted your life the most? Wow, that is a loaded question. There are books that have impacted me in different ways. You know, there are books that kind of inspired my love for reading, that got me into young adults. But if I have to go like just all around, like the book that has impacted me the most in the different aspects of my life, other than just like books and reading, it would probably be the Hunger Games series, because not just of reading the books, which I loved, and watching the movies, but going to the fan camps and having those experiences that were so much fun, and meeting all the cast. And I met some amazing people at those fan camps that I'm still friends with to this day. You know, I think I met most of them at the Catching Fire one, and then, you know, we saw each other every year. And one of them actually is now one of my best friends, and if I hadn't been at those premieres, I would have never probably met her. So I'd have to say the Hunger Games series. What is your least favorite Star Wars movie? Well, to be honest, while I do really like the Star Wars movie, I'm not like a huge gigantic fan, so I haven't actually seen the movies that many times. I've probably actually only seen most of them once or twice, but the movie I remember the least of, like, I'm not even sure if I've seen this whole movie, is episode 2 of Star Wars. So since I literally don't remember that movie at all, I guess I'm gonna go with episode 2 of Star Wars. My least favorite color. That's hard, you know, because automatically I want to say brown, but the thing is, I love brown in clothing. So do I have a least favorite color? Maybe like beige or tan. I guess like beige or tan, because those are just like boring. They're really boring. Like even in clothes, like brown can be really exciting, like depending on the color of brown. But beige and tan, it's usually like a neutral color, and like you want to, you can't be all in beige and tan, or else, especially on my skin color, or I'm gonna disappear. So yeah, I guess beige slash tan is my least favorite color. What is your opinion on 13 Reasons Why? Well, my opinion is pretty neutral because I have not watched the TV series yet. I know I'm behind. I've had a lot of things going on and I haven't had a chance to watch it. I probably won't have a chance to watch it until I come back from my trip later on. But actually, you didn't say whether you meant TV show or book. So I have read the book, and I'm gonna say my feelings on that were I liked it, I didn't love it, because I read that book years ago, like 6-7 years ago, and that book didn't leave a huge impression on me. Like, it didn't change my life or anything like I know it did to a lot of people. I remember really liking the book, but I wasn't like in love with it. So I'm gonna say my opinion on 13 Reasons Why is I like it, but I don't love it. And on the TV show, I got no clue because I haven't watched it yet. Oh, this is a fun question. If you were stranded on a spaceship for 90 years while the other passengers slept, who would you wake up? Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, or Chris Hemsworth? So this is obviously a question about Passengers, a movie which I still have not seen yet. I've wanted to, even though I heard the reviews were like, yeah, about it, but I love Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt. So right away, I can next Chris Hemsworth. I do really like Chris Hemsworth, but Chris Pratt and Chris Evans are, I think, the superior Chris's, but tough choice. Captain America or Star-Lord? You know, as like attractive as Chris Evans is and how sweet he is, like I feel like Chris Pratt would be more entertaining because he's a really funny guy. And while nice eye candy is great for 90 years, like honestly, for 90 years, you're gonna want someone who's gonna constantly make you laugh and just entertain you. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Chris Pratt for that question. What's your favorite movie that's been adapted from a book? That's a pretty easy one. That's gonna be Catching Fire. Catching Fire, I think, is hands down the best book adaptation that I have ever seen of the books I've read and then watched as movies. I think it is an absolutely perfect movie. It's 10 out of 10. It was, first off, an amazing adaptation. They were so truthful to the book, and when I was watching it for the first time, I didn't even notice the things they left out. Like when I watched the first movie, I was like, oh, they did this, they did that. Why did they change that? Why did they add that? What are they doing? Like to some parts. And when I watched Catching Fire, I was just like, oh my God, this movie's so good. This movie's so good. And it was like the next day until I was like, oh, they left out that and that other thing too. But like, I literally did not care because the movie was so good. So other than it being a perfect adaptation, like it was perfect, it was also an amazing movie. I think Catching Fire is the best movie in the franchise. Hands down, Catching Fire is the best one. So other than it being a really good adaptation, it was also an amazing, amazing movie on its own, which I think is hard to do because you have to both please the fans and just please casual moviegoers too. Because you can have a really good adaptation and then have a movie, or have a really great movie and it's like has almost nothing to do with the book. But Catching Fire did both so well. So until something else comes along that knocks it out of the park, Catching Fire is gonna be my answer. 3 things we should know about you. I guess one is that while I was born in California and I have lived here for the majority of my life, I did actually live in Louisiana from a month old to 4.5. Me and my mom moved back to live with our parents about an hour outside of New Orleans is where they lived. So I did live there for a few years and we try to go back every year, every 2 years. I absolutely love going back and visiting. New Orleans is one of my favorite cities and I love the culture and the food and it's something I grew up around. So yeah, it holds a very special place in my heart and I don't think a lot of people know I do have a lot of southern roots. That's where my mom grew up, that's where my grandpa lives, and where I lived for a few years of my life, and I always love going back and visiting. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that, yeah, I did live in Louisiana for a few years growing up. Everyone just thinks I'm a 100% California girl, but nope. Got some Cajun roots in me. Well, something else you should know about me is, this is a really good thing, is I am absolutely terrified of ants. I've always had a really bad phobia of ants. It has gotten a little bit better over the years, thankfully, but I am terrified of ants. I think part of it came from living in Louisiana where ants are ginormous and red and yeah, they're not fun, and almost stepping in a giant ant pile at the cemetery one time. And I've just had a lot of bad experience with ants. You know, if they're just like crawling on the ground, like when I'm walking, I'm like, okay, that's fine. But if they're crawling on me, I'm freaking out. A lot of time, like if you know where you get like kind of those phantom crawls in your leg, like it's just the wind or something, but I will kind of freak out. I'm like, ugh, because I think it's an ant on me, so like that really freaks me out. Also if there's like just a lot of them, that's kind of a weird phobia because they're so tiny. I've had friends, a lot of friends make fun of me for that, but I hate ants. Honestly, I kind of hate all bugs and have phobias for all bugs like spiders and cockroaches, but ants are the ones that I guess would be the most uncommon because a lot of people are afraid of spiders and a lot of people are afraid of cockroaches, but I don't know that many people that are afraid of ants. And I guess the third thing you guys should know about me is I'm a very passionate person. When I am into something, I am in it. Like when I love something and I feel passionate about it, I am all in it. Like, and that's one of the things that I love the most about me. So whenever I am really passionate about something, like I give it my all. Like I am all in. I'm just a really passionate person. So something I love, you can know that I love it with my full heart. And so yeah, I'm a very passionate person. Another question I got asked is, you've been talking about this big trip you're going on. Where are you planning on going? Yeah, I know I've been talking about, alluding to this big trip I'm planning on taking in my videos and on Twitter and on Instagram, just like all over the place. And I'm gonna be talking about that very soon in a video that's gonna be coming out later this week because I actually leave for that trip on April 24th. So I'm super excited. And that video is going to be explaining what my whole trip is about. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys. So be keeping an eye out for that video coming later this week. And easily the most important question I got asked in all of this is, crust on PB&J, yes or no? Yes, I do actually like the crust on PB&J. I think it adds a nice texture to it. Those uncrustable things are really weird to me, so crust all the way. Alright, well that is going to be it for this Q&A video. If there was anything you guys want to know that you didn't get a chance to ask me, definitely leave me a comment and I will answer those questions. And if you guys did like this video, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up. And if you guys are not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below so that hopefully I can hit 2,000 subscribers in the near future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, my name is Jade and I'll be seeing you guys soon with a new video. Bye!